Hi, I'm Tyson with Adventure Rig, and Callie and I have been kiteboarding down here in Baja for the last 4 weeks, as the United States and Canada have been experiencing a polar vortex. Very lucky to be down here, and we're lucky because we have brand new gear this season. So behind me is the Duotone Evo SLS Kite. We have it in an 8, a 10, and a 13. Prior to this, we were riding some pretty old stuff. It's stuff that we bought used when we picked up this sport, and we had kites from F1 Trust. They were a 2015 model, and we had those in an 8 and an 11 and a 13. Then we also kind of had this random Ocean Rodeo Prodigy in a 9.5. And it was probably about the same era, maybe a 2016, 2017, somewhere in that time frame. Now, with that being said, we've not necessarily ridden any brand new gear ever. I've tried some Neos that were maybe 4 years old. I liked them, nothing wrong with them. I don't know if I noticed a huge difference between those and the Trust, and I only rode it for 30 minutes. But what I can say about the Evo, it's been mind-blowing, the difference between this kite and all of the older stuff that we've ridden. Now, Callie and I are definitely not great riders. I'm working on back roll transitions, hand drag back rolls, jumping. Callie's working on back rolls and jumping. So that's kind of where we are in our progression. With that said though, going from the Evo back to our Trust kites, which we did, it's been mind-blowing at how much easier these are to ride than the older F1s that we have, as well as the Ocean Rodeo Prodigy. The Prodigy, for example, just feels extremely squirrely. If I'm doing anything one-handed on that, it does not take much bar pressure to make that kite shoot one way or another on me, or just go completely downwind. It's very unpredictable for me. The Trusts, they're just not that fun to fly anymore. We never had an issue with them till we got on the new stuff. And they just kind of feel lifeless. Trying to jump with them, they're just kind of mushy. They don't really do that well at anything. Basically completely different than the Evo. And we went with the SLS because we had seen really great reviews on it. Now they do have the higher level at the Evo D Lab. That's a different material. And then they also have a lower level that's just the regular Evo, and that also is a different material than the SLS kites. We went with the middle of the road because we had heard great things, and I liked the wind range that these were providing. So these fly very well if it's a light wind, if it's a stronger wind. They seem to have a very wide range of wind that they'll fly in. They're also light and stiff, and probably because they're brand new, extremely crispy. I love the feeling of brand new gear. And we've used these, at this point, the 8's probably been used 10 to 15 times. It is still extremely crispy. I mean, I think that it will stay that way for quite a long time. We also do take really good care of these, and so we want them to last for years and years down the road. Probably the biggest thing that I notice with the Evo SLS is, again, how friendly it is. So when we're out there and we're trying to learn new tricks, I find that it just wants to stay above me. If I only have one hand on the bar, it takes a lot for me to get that kite to really shoot out of the wind window and either go downwind or completely to the side of me. If I just have one hand though in the center of the bar and I'm trying to spin and I'm doing all kinds of wonky stuff that I shouldn't be doing, the kite is super friendly. This is also great with Callie and myself because it helps build our confidence. So we want to go out there and try new tricks knowing that the kite's not going to potentially try to kill us. On the tip of the kites, you do have 3 different line settings, and you can make these a little bit harder or a little bit softer. This is going to change how fast the kite turns as well as the bar pressure. Now, speaking of the bars, we went with the Duotone Click Bar, which I've also reviewed. That has been a great bar to pair with the Evo. One thing that I've noticed with this kite is that no matter if I'm fully powered or fully depowered, the kite flies extremely well. Unlike the Trust, when we would depower those, they just didn't fly that great anymore. They liked to fly powered up. With the Evo SLS, it seems to fly pretty much the same if it's depowered fully or fully powered. Because we've only been on these for a month, I can't speak to the overall longevity of the material of the kite, but I will say that we have had a couple issues. One being, I had a kite mare a couple weeks ago and I had to self-rescue. These do have a handle sewn into the leading edge so that when you're in the water, you can grab it and pull the kite over and then have the wind take you back to shore. When I got to the kite, I grabbed the handle to pull it over, and the handle immediately ripped off of the leading edge, which exposed the bladder inside, causing the bladder to burst. I still had all 3 struts and they were inflated. Callie actually came out and grabbed me. We body dragged back into the beach. All was fine, but we've been out of a 10-meter kite because of that. Now, Duotone is replacing the entire kite. It's been a minor inconvenience though, because we're down here in Baja. They can't just send a kite down, so we've been without a 10, which is a little bit of a bummer. I do understand that sometimes things happen, and every kite brand out there probably has its own issues. That has been one issue that we've had, and again, Duotone, no questions asked, said, hey, we're gonna go ahead and replace that. We'll send you a new one. So looking forward to getting that one. Hopefully we will not have any more issues with these kites. I guess the last point that I would mention is that if you are on the fence like we were about upgrading our used gear or really old gear to new gear, no questions, it is definitely something that you should do, especially the Evo SLS. This is a great all-around kite that Callie and I couldn't be happier with. If you guys have any questions about this, please leave them in the comment section below and we'll get back to you. Also, if you're wondering where we are or what we're up to, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Adventure Rig. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tyson with Adventure Rig.